Hi, well, I've just come back from the European Champs in Holland. European Champs, World Club Champs, those are events that really sort of get me motivated in fishing, get me wanting to participate and be part of. So I was really pleased to be part of the squad that went out to Holland with England. Last time we went 2 years ago, we didn't go last year, but last time we went 2 years ago, we actually won gold. So I was really looking forward to sort of maybe going and seeing if we could get a medal again, hopefully a gold, but it's never easy. I think people back home sometimes think it's easy to get a medal when you go to these things. Let me tell you now, it's not. It is so difficult to get a medal at these events. The standard of angler is so high. You're talking about the best from each country, and that makes it really, really difficult. But I will say that I do really enjoy going and working hard and trying to get it. Did a little bit of practice off the length before we got there. Caught quite a lot of fish, to be honest, between 4 and 8 kilo of small perch, roach, skimmers, these sorts of fish. Really nice fishing. And then we caught an odd big bream as well, and they were big. 2.5 to 3.5 kilos, which is like 5 to 7 pound. They were the size of bream that people were catching. So they are really, really big fish. That means that, you know, one of those makes a huge difference. And the key was trying to figure out how to catch those fish, but they were difficult to catch. And they not only were they difficult to catch, they swam around in areas. And if you weren't in the area where they were, you weren't going to catch one. It's pretty much as simple as that. So we had a tough week, to be honest. We started off, caught a few bream on the first day, not many, but we nicked them on our roach and perch lines. We didn't seem to catch any out long, which was a bit strange. And then as the week got on, it just got harder and harder. Practice was incredibly, incredibly difficult. There was like, I would say, 400 to 700 grams was our general small fish weights. I mean, that's terrible fishing. Really disappointing, to be honest. And from a personal point of view, makes it very difficult. The team's very strong. There's lots of strong anglers. And you can't really do anything to prove that you can get into the team because the anglers are so good and the weights are so low. So that makes it difficult for the management to pick a team and the management to try and put something together, whilst all the time we're trying to figure out the tactics, which is the most important thing. Getting that result for the team is the most important thing. So that's what we all pull together to try to achieve. So then we caught an odd bream later on in the week, and by the end of the week it was just dire. We just couldn't really catch anything. I think on the last day I had 8 or 9 perch, something like that. And we had several of us with the same or less. So it really was looking poor for the weekend. On Friday night, my personal feelings were it's going to be a really, really hard match. We're always going to fish with a bit of confidence. An odd bream here or there. Hopefully, we could do something to get a medal. That's how I felt going into Friday. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't in the team for the match. I've been made first reserve, which, you know, I'm going to have to accept these things. And from a personal point of view, people ask you about that all the time. That's a very popular question, and you often see it on, you know, what's the team? And so people are interested in it. So I'm happy to talk about it, and I'm happy to say that, okay, I was first reserve. I really look forward to hopefully getting a chance again. When you're first reserve, you've got to be prepared and you've got to be enthusiastic to run the bank and make the most for the team. I haven't gone there for 2 weeks just to, you know, not try when it comes to the weekend. So that was my philosophy. Fair enough. Management's got a hard decision to make. Now I'm going to help them win a medal. It's as simple as that. So I ran for Matt Godfrey both days, who I travelled with. He put in 2 fantastic performances, as did the rest of the team. It was a really, really brilliant match. I thought it was going to be terrible. I think we all thought it was going to be terrible. Some of us had caught like 40 or 50 fish all week, and everybody nearly caught more fish than that on the match. It was astonishing. There was, I think Matt had 30 perch in the first hour. He probably hadn't caught 30 perch in the last 4 days, let alone the first hour. So you can tell how better it was fishing on the match. There was an odd bream starting to come out, and one thing that I was noticing was that the Welsh were catching a few bream. They've been on a really good box on Friday practice and caught a lot of bream. I think they went in with a lot of confidence thinking they could catch one. And it showed because they had 4 out of 5 bream catches on the first day. We had 3 out of 5 with a bream, but in all honesty, I don't think we stole that many more points. Matt had 1 bream. He would have been second on his small fish anyway. Matt Derry had a bream. He came second in his section, but I believe he'd have been probably 5th or so without a bream anyway, because he was the best of the small fish weights. Will Raisin was in a poor part of his section, had a bream. There was some really strong pegs where they caught a lot of bream, so that was always going to make it difficult. So we were sort of like nicking a fish here and there, but it was the small fish weights that had really pulled us up. Alan and Sean had caught a lot of small fish, and it was really looking like we'd been the best of the rest in all the sections, because every section didn't have everyone with a bream, or some sections only had 3 or 4, then it meant you'd the best of the rest. So we had a really good score. We had a 6th, 2 4ths, a 2nd and a 1st. That gave us 17 points on the first day. A really, really good score in my opinion. And the Welsh had scored 16 with their 4 anglers that had managed to catch bream. So that was absolutely fantastic. I think John Harvey won the match with 15 kilos. John's a great guy. Absolutely bagged up on bream in the bream section. Brilliant for him. Absolutely brilliant. And brilliant for the team. Going into the next day, you've got renewed confidence, because on Friday we're thinking, oh, he's going to struggle here to get a medal. And on Saturday night, we've almost won the first day. So we're sort of thinking, well, hang on a minute. What's happened in practice? Why haven't we caught as much? And I think often in practice, you get blocks of teams. And even though you don't want to, you end up fishing similar. For example, ground baits. We've all got a very similar ground bait. We've all got a very similar soil and lean. We're just talking about the fishing, so we fish on similar lines. So I think that negates each other a little bit and keeps the weights down. And then when the match comes and you're all interspersed doing different things with different teams, the fish spread out a bit and it seems to fish a bit better. That's the impression that I got on the bank when I was running. So it's quite exciting going into day 2. Similar sort of thing happened. After an hour, there was barely a bream caught in the match. And I would say if we'd have weighed in after an hour, we'd have probably had 3 section winners and 2 well up there, because we were top on the little fish, which was really, really important. They were the key to this match. We used Gros Gardons and Canal Fine Noir with a bit of ground bait. Balled in at the start, try and win a few fish. That seemed to work well. Light elastics and lines and hooks, because we're catching small fish. That worked well as well. And we were putting fish in the net, mainly perch to be honest, not that many roach. Flicking an odd pinky was catching you an odd roach as well. So it was all seeming to come together nicely. Then a few bream were being caught and it was changing things. The Welsh had a few bream catches again. It was looking like they might be difficult to beat. Then we started catching an odd bream here or there. It was really exciting to be a part of, to be honest. I believe that in A section, Matt Derry was the best silverfish weight and came 4th in his section, beaten by 3 people with a bream. Great team performance. Matt Godfrey was definitely the best smallfish weight in his section, and he stole a bream. And he actually finished 4th in his section, behind 3 bream and 2 people with 2. Matt had won his section the day before, so a great debut for him, definitely. Then we'd had Sean had been in the middle, and he was, to be honest, Sean had a great result really. He came 6th in his section, but at the start of the day I feared the worst. All the bream were at the top end and he was only 1 in from his section, and I really felt that if 7 or 8 people caught a bream, he was going to be well down. Fortunately, he only finished 6th, which I felt was a good result from where he was. He couldn't have probably done too much more. I know that it was close between him and another lad and he just missed out, but you never know with those things. That's always difficult to judge. Will was in the hardest section of the match. The day before there'd been plenty of fish there. For whatever reason, I think after 45 minutes, nobody caught anything apart from Thomas Walter on the end peg. So he was in for a tough match, but if you want someone on a tough section, it's going to be Will. He's the man for sneaking you out an odd fish or 2, and he came 4th. Again, I think there was 2 people with big fish, and then he was just behind them. So a great team result. And Alan won his section at the top end. He had E1, fished a good match. Good peg, good match. When we get a good peg, we need it to be a top 1 or 2 or 3, and that's what happened with Alan. Do you expect anything else? Not from Alan, probably not, to be honest. So, a fantastic performance. I think we had 19 points on the day. After the day before, it was looking good, but the Welsh had scored 16. Fair play to them. They ended up winning the gold with that, and that put us second. Before I talk about our second, we've got to talk about the Welsh result. I've been going to these events now since 2008. I've travelled to pretty much all of them, only missed a few. And the Welsh have had a tough time of it. They've got some great anglers, but you know, like I was speaking to Andy Johnson, he was saying there's hard luck stories here and there. It hasn't quite gone for them. And I think that they've been disappointed on many occasions, to be honest. And to see them all come together, catch those bream, and get that result. I mean, they had 2 guys, one on each day, that caught a bream, and it made them from right down almost last to top 3. That is brilliant fishing, in my opinion. There's bream there to be caught. You commit yourself to catching them, and they've caught them. Fantastic. I was over the moon for the guys. There isn't a guy in that team that isn't a nice guy. And Andy Johnson is one of the most enthusiastic men I've ever met. He's their captain. So I was really pleased to see them. If it wasn't going to be us, for them to be up there, that was great. I also want to mention Scotland, who came 4th. Last year in the Worlds, they had a terrible time of it. And I was speaking to a couple of them at the evening banquet, and they were very down. They were really disappointed. To come back from that and come 4th, and those guys have worked really hard. Just missing out on that bronze. Amazing if it had been us 3 teams on the podium, but just missing out on that bronze. And I was really, really pleased for them that they came 4th. So a really good day for you know, United Kingdom angling, I suppose. Really strong performances. We were delighted with silver. I think we'd have taken that on Friday night, bearing in mind how we felt the venue was going to be patchy. I also think if we fished a match on there 5 or 6 times, our tactics would always help us achieve a really high position. You know, that was the sort of thing that we set out to do. You know, it's a team match, don't bomb out, sneak a bream if you can, and that worked brilliantly. Hungary Storm Day 2, by the way, to come back for bronze, and a special mention to Thomas Walter, who won the individual European champs. I think some people have got it in this fishing, and I know Thomas said to me he never had an easier day on the second day because he drew the M peg, but it doesn't matter, in my opinion. Everybody gets a chance at these sort of situations, M pegs and good pegs and all the rest of it. You're talking about a guy who's twice world champion and silver medal last year in the World Championships to then go on and win the European Championships. There's 2 or 3 people in that category that are elite like that, like Alan, like Will. They are elite guys, and Thomas is definitely there. So well done to him. A really, really good result. But the future's bright for England. We had, I think there was Matt and Matt Fish, who are both 25, 26. Myself, I'm early 30s. Cameron Hughes was with the squad as well. He's only 27. James Dent and Callum Dix came out there in their mid-20s. So you've got to look there. There's a very, very strong nucleus of guys pushing those guys at the top. I know that our top guys are really, really driven by the fact that we're there. You know, we want to do well. We're practicing. We're working out. That makes them work hard, and it's really working well. I think we all get on well as well. So I'm really excited about the future for the England team. You know, like I've said at the start of this piece, it is so difficult to win a medal. But if we keep this sort of thing together and keep this sort of thing going, I'm very confident we'll be winning more medals in the future. So it's exciting. Okay, look, I hope that's caught you up on the Euros this year. It really was a tremendous competition. Thanks to Drennan and Census for backing the team. And let's hope we can work hard all year and be part of it next year. Okay, guys, see you later. Thanks, bye.